Hi and welcome to Indigo Starfire. My name is Bevin, and in this video I'm going to be looking into the question, what are the person on your mind's intentions towards you and their next actions? There are three groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Rhodonite Tower. Group 2 is the Amazonite Heart. And group 3 is the Fossilized Coral Star. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you would like to jump ahead. And up next is a close-up photo of the crystals to help you better make your selection. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Rhodonite Tower. So, start by taking a look at what are their intentions towards you. Okay, so we have the Five of Pentacles, which is Earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Ace of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Nine of Wands, which is fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Great Fortune. Journey. And Clover, luck, happy coincidence, unexpected rendezvous, a fling, good fortune, carefree, a reward, flirt, short-lived. So interesting, we have that reference to good fortune twice here in terms of their intentions, in conjunction with the idea of the Five of Pentacles, a card of being out in the cold. Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior, so maybe difficulties that you've had in love in the past that have caused you to be a little bit guarded or skeptical as far as opening up your heart to love again. There is a sense here of wanting to help you transcend beyond that. The intention here is to, it feels like, take their time to build the situation slowly so that you are finding them trustworthy and letting your guard down very gradually to open up to the possibility of love with this person. So maybe this is somebody that is a friend with deeper feelings or somebody you're just starting to get to know. It could even be somebody who you are in a disconnect from, somebody who you have left out in the cold, they left you out in the cold perhaps, and it's this intention to try and rebuild that trust, rather than just rush forward and bombard you with a full declaration of everything they envision for the future of this connection. A lot of long-term potential here with this idea of great fortune twice. It's talking about kind of double Ten of Pentacles energy. So if this was someone you were dealing with before and you were working your way toward that happily ever after and things got derailed, it's definitely the intention to try and pick up the pieces, course correct, learn from the errors of the past, slowly but surely to rebuild in a better direction so you can kind of veer back in the right direction toward that happily ever after that you at one point had or at one point were working toward. Or if it's a newer connection or somebody who is just on the precipice or brink of initiating a connection, announcing themselves in that way, taking the next step towards you. It's the idea of wanting to really kind of meet you in the middle to be able to compromise with you and to help to rewrite the script and the narrative of what you have experienced in terms of stable long-term partnerships up to this point in time, and a sense that they have of being very curious almost about what your idea of happily ever after, what your 10 of Pentacles looks like, comparing that with kind of their ideas, their goals and desires as far as kind of that happy family, that happy home life together, longevity in the relationship. And really kind of wanting to explore more deeply, but again, in sort of a methodical manner, how aligned are these two visions, and therefore what steps are necessary kind of further down the road in order to be able to reach that. So overall, this feels like somebody who has really good intentions towards you in the connection. They may, again, be kind of taking things slowly. They could be a little bit of guarded, both of that kind of great fortune tied in with the energy of loss. The two of you may really be a little bit cautious this time around with entering into love and partnership, wanting to build a foundation in the material world before just diving headfirst into that emotional space. And especially if it's somebody that you are in no contact with, that is maybe resurfaced, or they're kind of on the brink of resurfacing, it's this energy of, we need to go slowly this time around, kind of pick up where we left off, if that's something you'd be open and willing to explore, and to be very mindful, it feels like of any kind of triggers and fears that had derailed the situation in the past, so that you're kind of learning from those mistakes, and that can become a constructive experience rather than just kind of stumbling along that same sort of loop and cycle. There's a desire to transcend all of that, either to transcend your experiences with them, if this is someone you dealt with before, or somebody new, a sense and a feeling that you can help them to transcend some, kind of pitfalls as far as love and trust and romance are concerned. Two people who could be very guarded and kind of reluctant to open up or take the next step in love, and really an intention to help to rewrite in a very positive manner, kind of your visioning of love and partnership in comparison to what you are experiencing in the material world. So now let's take a look and see what their next actions potentially are towards you. Okay, so we have Knight of Wands, fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius again. Eight of Pentacles, so more of that earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. And Six of Wands, fire energy again. Also got concern, fireworks, passion, chemistry, desire, kiss, celebrate, happiness, exhilaration, new year, excitement, explosive. And bellows, catalyst, ignite, fuel, torched, fan the flames, infuse, breathe, kindle, spark, effort required, passion, get it going. Yeah, so this is definitely somebody who is not just going to sit on the fence and wait as far as this intention is concerned, desires to move actively toward building the connection in the direction of Ten of Pentacles, or rebuilding, kind of forging a bridge between the two of you if you find yourself at a distance from one another. This can talk about a very direct indication with the Knight of Wands, somebody who is action oriented. They're not just going to sit passively. In some way, they may have been kind of calculating if the time is right, strategizing a bit. They have some kind of strategy that they are getting ready to implement with you, understanding that this will take work, or again, as much as there is enthusiasm, there's also a degree of measured patience, or being very cognizant and very aware that if they come in too quickly, it might set off some alarm bells for you, trigger some red flags, especially if it was someone you were dealing with before, that you may necessarily be a little bit skeptical and guarded about what they have to offer this time around. So it's a sense of moving in with confidence with the Six of Wands, being very oriented toward victory, and really leaving no stone unturned as far as reigniting the connection or providing you with something in a tangible material sense that is beyond just innuendo and suggestion. It may be some kind of an offer, some kind of a gesture that they provide. This could be asking you out, doing something that is really kind of a sweet and passionate demonstration that they are not just, in this to kind of temporarily garner your attention, or that this is something that they're a little wishy-washy about. This is the energy of, I have thought about this, I have sat and pondered this, and I'm ready to elevate things forward. I'm ready to put myself out there. I'm ready to spark and ignite, or to kind of increase this blaze and this passion between the two of us. If it's somebody that you're friends with, definitely like a declaration of, hey, I've got more feelings than that. These have been building for quite some time. I've been working up the nerve, coming in with kind of this energy of confidence, that they are very goal oriented in this capacity. Something where it's not just, leaning out of dealing with one another platonically into the realm of flirtation, but it's something that brings with it a lot of intensity, to where, you're really certain the direction that they're headed, that it's not going to lead to a lot of mystery as far as, do they have intentions for me? Do they have feelings for me? Is this just kind of all in my mind? What's going on here? It's going to be something that unequivocally provides a lot of illumination for you, and it may be something where they could be a little tongue-tied in getting out that delivery, something where they're having to kind of move beyond a sense of guardedness within, taking that leap of faith, even though they're scared of getting hurt in love again, or something about you they may find very intimidating, or the intensity and nature of these feelings, and how long they've been kind of sitting on the fence and thinking about this, to take that leap of faith, to take that dive forward. It may kind of come forth tumbling with all these pentacles right here. That initial kind of conversation, or elevating the nature of your conversations to the next level. It may come out a little bit jumbled, but at the end, it's sort of something that is unmistakable, where you're going to be able to know the direction that they are wanting to take things. If this is somebody from your past returning, again, it's the idea of, they have really been working up the confidence, working up the nerve, something where it feels like they almost want to provide you more confidence and certainty than before, so you don't confuse their efforts and attempts towards you as just like, is this someone trying to love bomb me? Are they just trying to kind of weasel their way back in? There's an energy of wanting to re-spark, rekindle the connection, but with the intention of kind of making it more intense, more sustainable, something the two of you can really warm yourselves by in a more profound and consistent way than had been the case in the past. If it was, that interest had kind of waned a little bit, or, there was a lot of kind of confusion, or maybe some cutting words or some iciness that had occurred. It's the desire to move into closer proximity to you and create the sense of comfort and trust that what they have to provide, it brings with it the interest in reviving this, breathing life force energy in, something that can really, again, sustain the two of you, providing a lot of illumination, maybe about, kind of difficult conversations that need to take place. An energy here of the next actions are this enthusiasm to re-spark things, but also something that they're wanting to really convey, that presents you with the understanding that they're willing to work through any sort of skepticism that you have. They're willing to hold space for you to, think about this, ponder what they have to bring forward, any kind of concerns or questions, anything that you need to kind of get out or express in order to dissipate, any residual sort of like anger, uncertainty, fear-based energies. There's a willingness, it feels like, on their part to really hold space, to hold their ground, to not just run away if things get a bit heated, but to really kind of be there through the intensity, through whatever it takes to sort of reach this middle ground. It may be something where in the past the intensity and nature of their feelings caused them to run away, or somebody who you're currently dealing with in some capacity that has yet to express feelings or has been kind of vague about that, kind of hot and cold. It's the sense of, very overwhelmed by the nature of what they're feeling, feelings that came on very suddenly, very unexpectedly, or the nature of your dynamic with one another. They may have really questioned, is this appropriate? Is this the right time? It could have triggered a lot as far as guardedness. They feel very aware about this element within themselves, and so what they're bringing forth, it's mindfulness in that capacity, but it's also a determination to not kind of run at the first sign of trouble. They're anticipating that they're going to be entering into this territory of having to face very directly those intense feelings that have kind of made them sort of freeze, or the flight mechanism was triggered, and they kind of have run the other way. This is the sense of, I want to face this, because on the other side of kind of walking through that fire of fear is this wish fulfillment. It feels like somebody who's really thought about this for a long time. They've come up with a plan, whether it's new person or person from the past, and they bring with them a lot of determination to really impress you, to really surprise you, to catch you in an energy or what they're presenting. It's something that it's very unmistakable, something that it's going to reflect a lot of effort and thought and concern on their part, but rather than just being a spectacle or some kind of a demonstration that burns quickly and then fades away. It's the idea here as well with bellows of really wanting to create something very sustainable, to really prove to you through actions in the material world, rather than just empty words, that they are concerned about the longevity of this situation. They want to do what it takes to kind of move with this energy, with the times where there's the intensity and where it kind of ebbs away, that there's a consistency here where they're with you through kind of the good times and the bad. So I'm going to get some messages from their higher self, and then I'll close it out with some initials for you. Okay, and they say, not the right time. I am overwhelmed with responsibilities and I don't have time or energy for a relationship. So this can talk about some fears that had been the case before. They're really trying to work through these things, trying to work up that courage, summon that courage and determination that victory lies on the other side of their willingness to take bold action, take bold moves. This may be somebody as well that it was kind of right person, wrong time in the past, and so they really feel to be somebody who has reflected upon that, the distance, or even just a process of somebody who hasn't yet expressed their feelings. There's a sense of they've been thinking about this, they've been contemplating this, and they're very concerned, which it feels like leads to this enthusiastic action on their part, that if they don't act now, someone else will kind of come in and swoop up their place by your side, or that it becomes more difficult. The more time that passes by, it doesn't make this summoning of courage any easier. It doesn't make these obstacles or almost this guardedness or woundedness within the heart space, it doesn't become any easier to overcome. It just makes it more difficult. And so it ties into the idea of working up a lot of courage to just put themselves out there, come what may. They also say no one compares. No matter how many people I've met and experiences I've had, there is no one who compares to you. So definitely, if this is a no contact situation, your person from afar, maybe they've dated other people or they've just taken some time alone, they've needed to really reflect that all the answer comes back around to kind of that idea of the double fortune, that it was their good fortune to have encountered you in the first place. For whatever reason, their role in kind of sabotaging detaching, letting the situation go, letting opportunities pass them by. There's a desire to kind of reclaim this. They see your value, they see your worth, and the potential of what can develop between the two of you in a very satisfying way in the material world. And so it's a sense of they would be a fool to let this pass them by, or to not seize the opportunity or create a window of opportunity to pivot this situation forward. If this is somebody who has yet to express their feelings, or a deeper layer and nature of feelings, maybe it's somebody that you're dating, and all that energy of kind of the fire here and the fanning the flames, this can be that declaration of wanting to take things to the next level, feeling that it's time to turn up the heat, turn up the intensity on the nature of your interactions with one another. This can also tie into this idea of contemplation, where they've compared, past relationships that haven't gone so well, whatever has resulted in that trigger within them that has maybe made them a bit guarded, a bit hesitant, or that is just a consideration before they're moving deeper into this situation. That the time that it's taken up to now for them to really sit with all of this and sort of marinate on those feelings, the determination has come in that this is too good of an opportunity to pass them by. That any fears they may have had of kind of whatever could it unfold in the connection between the two of you, in some way replicating or mirroring what they'd experienced as far as disappointments in love in the past, that these are kind of empty concerns, and that it's more worth their while to make the effort to transcend that. They also say wild side. There's a side to you I haven't seen, and I want to. I want to see you let loose and get wild. Let's have some fun. So this definitely talks about turning up the intensity on this connection, unleashing feelings that have been building for quite some time, a lot of palpable chemistry between you and this person. Even if it's somebody you're in a no contact with, it's a sense of feeling your energy from afar, and kind of this yearning and desire to move closer to you, to end the disconnect, come back in from out in the cold, and to really see what ways you can dynamically, co-creatively sort of rewrite the script or narrative between one another. And they also say, my dreams, I've been dreaming about you. In my dreams, we are so free and in love. I wish we could stay there forever. So you are this person's dream come true, and they dream of building that 10 of Pentacles with you in a way that really fulfills as best as possible both of your ideas of what long-term happiness looks like. There's an understanding here that, these dreams will take effort on both your parts to really crystallize this into something meaningful and real in the material world. But it's definitely somebody who's kind of had been in that Four of Swords energy, contemplating, reflection, soul searching, a lot of signs coming through, a lot of things happening in the dream space, and they're ready to kind of take that leap of faith to move out of just sort of sitting on the fence, thinking about this, pondering this, desiring this, and it feels like they're getting ready to take some action, some bold declaration, something very unmistakable, perhaps very surprising, a leap of faith, something uncharacteristic on this person's part, or you may not have expected this person to ever turn up again if it was someone from your past, but it feels like they have been emboldened. They can no longer just sit in this energy of feeling that wish fulfillment has passed them by, or the sense that if they don't act in a very pronounced and profound way, that wish fulfillment will pass them by. And so they're getting ready to sort of do what they can to turn this dream, or the dream of what the two of you might become to one another, or can repair the situation and move towards getting ready to take action to bring that into the reality. So I'm going to get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. All right, got I, S, E, S, Q, P, I, X, A, Z, V, N, Y, G, L, B, G, and you. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. And I've launched a second channel here on YouTube, which is called Lady of the Dawn Tarot. There's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format over there consists of readings related to topics other than love and romance. So if you're looking for something a little different from me, that is the place to find it. I thank you for your support there, as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 2. Chose the Amazonite Heart. So let's start by taking a look at what are the person on your mind's intentions towards you at this time. Okay, so we have the Page of Pentacles, which is Earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Nine of Pentacles, so more Earth energy. Two of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Family Room. Main Male. And Woman. You are the querent, a person you know, girlfriend, fiance, spouse, love interest, feminine energy. So this is definitely somebody whose intention is to create something long-term with you, long-term partnership, to also really provide you with demonstrations that they are the type of person who follows through on promises that they make. It feels to be somebody who is recognizing a degree of independence about you, and a sense of looking with admiration almost at the fact that if you're spending time with them, if this is somebody that you're dating right now, there's a sense of that it's very obvious and apparent that you don't need them, but that you want to be with them, and there being a very big difference about that. And so it feels like any sort of confusion as far as where they sort of see you in their life long term, or an energy of wanting to co-create more intimacy with you. A sense of really respecting your boundaries, respecting who you are as a person, and making it very clear almost that they choose you, and that they recognize or understand something about you in terms of like independence, self-sufficiency, and an intention not to hinder that in any way, to hinder your progress, but to almost be a support system for that in a sense. Wanting to kind of link up with you, and almost feeling that the two of you can really enhance the quality of one's lives. There may be an energy of literally wanting to co-create, kind of combine skills, combine forces with you, sort of what you have, what you bring to the table, what they have, what they bring to the table, and working to kind of create more of a sense of communion with that, or really working with one another's strengths and deficits. This can be somebody who is wanting to provide you with some degree of stability or certainty about their desire to kind of build with you into the long term. So this can even be with the Two of Swords, the next layer of a conversation with one another, even with this Page of Pentacles and kind of family room. This can be the intention to move in together, to form a partnership, monogamy, commitment, exclusivity. It could be possibly asking you out for the first time, with the intention of not just somebody who has kind of like a superficial level attraction. So probably somebody that would be in your material world in a certain way, maybe somebody you know from work, for example, where you have kind of a colleague to colleague relationship. And so they've had time to get to know you as a person within this environment. And there's a desire to kind of elevate that, or take it into more of an intimate setting. Not coming from the angle of almost like, this is somebody that I see that I'm attracted to, there's this chemistry here, let's see where it goes. But they already sort of know who you are in a certain way, some aspect of your character, how you present to the world. And it's a desire to kind of branch out beyond that, to get to know you on more of like a personal or a direct level in a certain manner, to clear up any kind of mystery or confusion about, layers about you, about your personal life, maybe even kind of long-term goals, expanding the nature of your conversations with one another to really discuss future plans, future potentials. What does that look like? Talking more and getting to know more about your backstory. And also with that, in addition to, asking questions with these two swords, like double communication, they're wanting to reveal more about themselves as well, to start to get to know more of the deeper or nuanced or personal layers of one another, not just out of a sense of curiosity, but kind of, it's the intention to sort of start exploring or discovering another facet of one another, so that you can really, it feels like, be able to know in a more well-rounded way kind of what you're getting into. Like there's a curiosity on their part to know more about you, how you present, what they see of you, what they know, what they've experienced of you up to this point in time. It's very pleasing. There's a sense of, they can see the two of you have a lot of compatibility. There's a lot on the surface, and in terms of the details of your dealings with one another up to this point in time, that check a lot of boxes for them. Now they're wanting to go deeper in terms of, again, like backstory, goals and dreams, or wanting to kind of see how your mind works in other ways outside of sort of more of the surface level or mundane aspects of the situation. And again, kind of the idea of gearing the interactions with one another more toward personal matters, or things of a long-term nature. If it's somebody you've been dating and you've just been very much in the now with one another, this talks about the intention to sort of broaden the horizon as far as that's concerned. Discuss more about exclusivity, building towards something in the long term, really acknowledging your strengths as an individual, and seeking to kind of demonstrate to you, not brag about things, but really demonstrate how they feel that the two of you fit very well together. So this could be somebody who is wanting to kind of give a boost, give some help in some kind of manner, maybe collaborate with things. And it feels to be, there are definitely these overtones here as far as some kind of a professional connection, or maybe even different things that the two of you are doing, some sort of co-creative idea that they have, some kind of spark or inspiration. It can talk about some sort of shared mission or goal. So maybe you're in a shared community with one another, and it's almost like it's the intention to open the door toward collaborating in a material level. But then there are these kind of deeper elements and aspects, like beyond that, beyond just working on a project with you or building something in terms of that material stability. It's a sense of kind of creating more structure to house the level of intimacy they ultimately sort of intend to experience with you, or that they envision is possible. But at this point, it's blocked off, or it's an unknown, because there's a need to sort of shift the nature of your dynamic with one another. So let's take a look at their possible actions towards you now. Okay, so we have the Five of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. The Chariot, Cancer energy again. Four of Swords, air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Bridge, communication, unite, connecting, integrate, share, collaboration, harmony, compromise, overcoming barriers. Courthouse. And Stallion, break free, tame versus wild, strong emotions, desire, driving force, unbridled, freedom, unleash the inner beast. So it is possible that there is a third-party situation involved in this circumstance that kind of leads to the energy of there's a lot of desire to take action. There's the intention to kind of build something with you, solidify something with you, get to know you on a different level, but there may be currently at this point in time interferences to doing that, to where for all the best intentions this person has, they're needing to kind of just sit on the fence. These plans that they have need to be sort of thought out more. They may be in the process with Courthouse of going through a divorce, getting a separation, breaking free from a long-term partnership. This can even talk about some kind of, because they're really, it's the intention to build something with you that is stable, that is solid, to combine forces, with the intention of kind of creating home and family. But that in this context feels to be something a little bit further down the road. Maybe there's literal distance between the two of you, or kind of roads that need to be traveled before that becomes actual. So it feels like their actions at this next point in time may be just kind of taking the opportunity to communicate with you more, to start those lines of conversation in a different direction. Start to expand out in the nature of your dealings with one another, but it feels to be something where they're restricted or restrained. Maybe it's just even the energy of wanting to get to kind of feel the situation out a little bit better, or as much as they've learned sort of one facet of you, they're wanting to kind of discover you from a different angle, allow you to see them from a different angle, so that the two of you really know what you're getting into before some kind of contract is created, a contract of an understanding, moving in with one another, making those plans to move towards something long term. It's possible here also with the idea of Courthouse and kind of legal documents, and also this kind of collaborative energy with the Bridge, that there may be a forging or a forming of like a business partnership, a literal collaboration in the material sense that affords this individual the opportunity to work more directly with you, so that even if there's not like a third party situation involved in this circumstance, that there's almost just that third party energy can be the fact that you only know such a limited scope of one another, or your dealings have only been from one sort of facet or aspect. So they're needing to sort of rearrange the circumstances of your dealings with one another and give this situation, as they are wanting it to blossom, the opportunity to kind of be liberated from the constraints of how you know one another at this particular point in time. So maybe this is somebody who sees you through your work, and they are wanting to kind of get goods or services from you, collaborate in terms of building something, establish more of that direct one-on-one communication, so that the idea of what I see of this person, what I know, what has been demonstrated, and my sort of feeling that they have all these surface level characteristics of somebody I would want to build with in a long term, that it's an energy of moving in closer, bridging that gap in some way to start to, maybe you're getting to know them for the first time on a more intimate level, or it's moving in closer to get a better view of you, or a different kind of view of you, but with preparations of something that they're not just wanting to be like a moth to the flame and sort of hover around you in this energy of observation from up close. It's with the energy of maybe alleviating some sort of doubt within themselves, or while another situation is wrapping up in their life, maybe you're in a third party situation, in the process of getting out of something. Perhaps you're fresh out of a breakup, fresh out of a divorce. They could be fresh out of a breakup or a divorce. And so there's a need to kind of take time for them to sort of ground themselves, to release something else, purge or process some degree of grief here. But it's almost in an active process of doing that is this sort of simultaneous attention on the future, efforts that are being made to kind of walk in steps away from whatever cycle has been closing out, or a bit of grief that they've been holding on to, or just kind of the sense of mystery and not knowing. So it's profound action in your direction, but not, it doesn't feel like a full declaration yet of kind of, hey, I've got these feelings. Hey, I think that we'd be really good together in a long-term sense. For those of you that you're already, dealing with, you're already dating, it is possible, though, that, this can be kind of a long-awaited conversation with this Five of Cups and the Four of Swords, where the situation may be kind of at the point where you're thinking, are they ever going to propose? Are they ever going to, take things to the next level? Are we ever going to move in with one another? Is this ever going to move out of the realm of just dancing back and forth in this proximity that we are at this point in time? And so if that resonates with your situation, this Chariot and kind of the idea of, courthouse and that paperwork and building the bridge and liberation, and yet, action-oriented movement, that can speak to, sort of this long-awaited, or almost at the midnight hour, the relationship takes a turn. They make some kind of dramatic action or statement towards you that indicates, okay, we're going to build in this direction. I see more of a long-term potential here. But again, it's something to where what's provided, it's almost just a brick along a longer road that needs to be paved. So this could just be opening up those lines of communication where you're working out the fine details of things, discussing back and forth what that's going to look like. If it's moving in together, then it's sort of like who moves in with whom. Maybe there's leases that are at play here, or that need to kind of be dealt with, or broken in a manner, or physical distance literally that needs to be bridged between the two of you, so that it's not so easy to just kind of run to one another's arms very directly and link up with each other, that there's kind of like a time that needs to elapse. So that can tie into as well whatever they're presenting. It also comes with this energy of there's a standstill, there's a need to wait, and then kind of a bit of disappointment as far as that's concerned. Mainly just, it feels like time or details that need to sort of factor out. So it's somebody who's moving in closer with the intentions behind them of, I'm taking this action, I'm scooting in a little bit closer to you, or maybe even a lot closer to you, with the intention of, I want this to be something long-term, but there's limits as far as what they're able to give fully at this point in time. Sort of circumstances outside of everybody's control that need to kind of play out, or be broken away from, or need to just kind of come to its resolution or conclusion before even a deeper dive can be taken in this situation. So I'm going to get some messages from their higher self, and I'll close it out with some initials. Okay, and we have Twin Flame. You activated my soul to find my true purpose and destiny in life. You helped me heal in ways no one else could. Thank you for finding me again this time around. So that really supports this idea of the, intention and kind of that man and woman, that masculine and feminine polarity counterparts right here. So this person recognizes you as something very unique, very out of the ordinary. And it can tie into the idea that this may have come very much at a surprise. They weren't looking for love, and yet they found you, or, there's third-party situations involved, or something that really, maybe they were in a process of kind of healing from some kind of heartbreak or breakup, and then all of a sudden there was you. And so, the nature and the dealings of one another with each other, there's a sense of a greater purpose here, a sense of other things that need to be kind of moved beyond, the boldness to kind of take those action steps forward, but almost an energy here of that the two of you are playing a long game with one another, that it's sort of brick by brick progressing forward beyond how you deal with one another at this particular point in time. So it's choosing to fight for this relationship, choosing to move in closer despite the obstacles, despite any kind of hesitation. What they see, what they know, what they realize, and they may have even needed to sort of take a pause and really examine this situation from a logical and grounded stance. But they have definitely reached the point, it feels like, of wanting to elevate or accelerate the connection to the next level. And they also say feeling lost. I'm trying to make this work, but I feel so lost. I don't know what to do or say anymore, and it's just easier to stay in silence. So this can reinforce the idea of outside circumstances, obstacles that don't make it so easy to just rush forward towards you and build to this energy of union with one another, this closeness with one another, taking your connection to the next level. So it's reinforcing the idea of them moving in closer in some way, providing something to you, some kind of nugget or indicator that they're trying to shift things around in their life, or even their approach to you is a demonstration of a shift in how they've been dealing with this situation up to this point in time. But they're at a loss for how completely they can reveal all their feelings or their intentions at this point. They're at a loss from kind of pivoting forward to sort of that end goal that they may have in mind here. There's still a lot to sort of examine. They need to get a different perspective on this situation, or just the limits in the material sense that kind of stop the two of you, things on either of your sides or both of your sides that make it difficult to sort of pivot this into the next layer of what might be just sort of an ordinary connection of people, meeting each other, getting to know each other, taking things to the next level. In some way, there's like a tragic kind of a block in here, or it's something very unfortunate that's kind of a test of patience. Even with that stallion energy, it's somebody who's really chomping at the bit, but they feel very limited as far as what they can do. So what they give, any way in which they attempt to kind of bring themselves closer into your life or articulate themselves more in your day-to-day reality, or to make space for you, it's almost like this is as much as they can give, but it's lacking in the totality of what they'd want to express or do for you. And they also say lost. I feel lost without you. Yeah, so a sense of whatever they're providing, whatever they're able to do at this point, it is definitely lacking from the intention. So the intentions versus kind of what those actions are going to be, there's going to be a wide chasm between that, with that idea of a bridge. Most, it feels like, of what the real nature of what they are intending is going to be felt in like an energetic sense, that their material actions may be sort of limited for, the reasons described, or other reasons, some kind of third party energy. It feels like almost, whether this is lingering heartbreak, a literal person, physical distance, the nature of your circumstances with one another, and any kind of complications that exist with that it's almost they can't give you everything they would want at this point in time. But it's also the idea of they don't want to lose the opportunity to explore this more deeply. Maybe they've lost time already and they're wanting to kind of make up for that. Any sort of hesitation or any ways in which these obstacles have kept them chained or bound at a distance, or needing to just be kind of reserved about the situation. That as much as they may be in a process of having to untangle themselves from other things, they're also kind of, as they're simultaneously in the process of releasing, wanting to kind of shed or get rid of the energy of not knowing, the energy of distance between the two of you. So as they're both kind of releasing, they're also trying to build with you as well. And they also say, you're my soulmate. It must be written in the stars, because you most definitely are my destiny. We belong together. So interchangeable term there, soul connection, twin flame, soulmate, twin soul, all of that, twin flame. It all fits into this kind of ballpark here of what they're really feeling, that this circumstance, this situation, especially if they've tried to, sort of take the practical route, take the practical approach, or there are like literal obstacles between the two of you, that this person, it feels like, has reached a point where, their intention is to see this through to completion, to move more close to you, closer to the connection, maybe literally move closer to you, kind of bridge that gap, that physical divide. They are seeing and recognizing how beyond just the surface level qualities, there are these deeper layers. This is more subtle pull in your direction. And so it feels like, they're trying to focus on the details, the surface aspects here, what needs to be done, time that needs to sort of elapse, a necessary pause or a rest period in the situation. But in whatever way they can, they're wanting to kind of express or convey or just present themselves in a more direct manner in your life, so that you can do what you can with what you have available between the two of you at this point in time to explore more of the subtleties and kind of the nuances of this dynamic, and not miss this opportunity for what it feels like they're sensing as a very rare and unique connection. You're a very rare and unique person that, they're what they've seen, what they've learned, what they've discovered about you up to this point in time. They really like that. And so it's wanting to lean in closer and get more of an understanding or more of an experience about the possibilities of what this connection can develop into in time. So I'm going to get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. All right, we've got O, D, Z, U, P, O, U, B, G, X, S, W, W, F, A, V, H, S, I, A, and L. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. And I've launched a second channel here on YouTube, which is called Lady of the Dawn Tarot. There's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format over there consists of readings related to topics other than love and romance. So if you're looking for something a little different from me, that is the place to find it. I thank you for your support there as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. We chose the Fossilized Coral Star. So let's start by taking a look at what are the person on your mind's intentions towards you at this time. Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords, which is air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. The Fool, which is Aries. Queen of Swords, so more air energy. Concern. Scythe, sudden, unexpected, accident, cut, release, harvest, liberate, shock, ripping off the bandage, surprise, a reckoning. And Wealthy Man. So with this Ace of Swords and the Queen of Swords, this is definitely the intention to provide some kind of truth. The idea of a heart-to-heart conversation, something that, even with the Scythe, I'm sure there's people that are watching this that are thinking, oh my gosh, are they getting ready to cut off this connection? But it's actually kind of feeling to be the opposite of that. It's a degree of wanting to engage in truth-telling that alleviates a lot of fears and concerns that you may have about how invested they are in this situation, feelings that they may have been holding inside for quite some time. It's the idea of using that scythe to kind of reap the harvest, reap the abundance, an energy of wanting to open the lines of communication to the exploration of what has been growing this whole time within themselves through the nature of your interactions with one another, kind of cutting away or releasing one definition of your dealings with one another. So if this is like casually dating, this is releasing that title of, we're very unattached and moving in the direction of a fresh start, a leap of faith. Let's build this into something more long term. It's the intention to provide almost a sense of reassurance on your part that they're in this for the long haul, that come what may, whatever difficulties there are, maybe you've already gone through a difficult phase and it's kind of two people each in their opposite corners, sort of thinking, should we persevere, should we press on, or is this sort of reached the end of the road, has it reached its conclusion? And the intention is to sort of do their part to alleviate any kind of burden on your mind as far as their desire to begin again, take things to the next level, elevate beyond, a stalemate kind of energy, to have sort of a meeting of the minds, or again, this heart-to-heart conversation, very direct and honest declaration of, feelings, of a sense of apology, of the ways in which they almost set this connection or set you apart with the idea of the Fool. This is very unique, that this is a journey that they want to embark more deeply on, or that they are ready to sort of take things to the next level. For some of you, quite literally, this could be aspects or elements of them that they had kind of hidden from you, a certain wealth, maybe literal wealth, and they had just tried to get to know you on like a person-to-person level, not really wanting to divulge too much about their finances, about sort of their station in life or what they've acquired or accumulated for themselves, but they have built a degree of trust with you at this point in time where they're ready to kind of show you this aspect of them. Or in a less literal sense, this can talk, again, about like the intention to depict to you, describe to you, express and kind of show you in multiple ways through a series of ever evolving conversations that you do mean a lot to them. They treasure you, they cherish you, they cherish this connection, the time you spend with one another. This is a situation where they want to invest, they see long-term potential here, and it's even kind of taking off the mask or releasing some sort of like a limitation or a bottled up energy, something that was hidden about maybe the generosity of love, of who they are as a person. This can talk about, the intention to open the door to more tenderness in the situation, a side of them that they don't easily show to people. So somebody who kind of has their heart tucked away or very guarded, getting ready to sort of cut down those walls, let down that guard, and to show you more of like a vulnerable side of themselves, so that you get a better understanding of who they are as a person, or maybe even to provide some explanation about their conduct up to this point in time, an iciness, a guardedness, somebody who was kind of on the defensive or very kind of sharp with their words, or had, not really taken the opportunity to lean into warm and fuzzy feelings. They had been kind of, detached or very practical. Maybe they're a very logical person. And it feels like it's the intention to provide you some sort of clarity or explanation as to why they operate like this in terms of love and partnerships, maybe a little bit on their backstory as well, so you have some sort of perspective and don't take it as personally that it's something you're doing or something about the connection that it's not viable, there's not this long-term potential. It's like letting you in closer to this vault within them, this kind of sanctuary where they keep their heart, so that you have a different understanding of kind of another aspect of who they are. And, that it provides almost this element of truth or integrity, where maybe you were feeling that there was, a bit of kind of mystery to this person. There was, something else, kind of a catch. You could almost sense that they were holding something back, and that could be any number of things, but it feels to be largely positive. It's largely a very beneficial energy that they are. The intention is to sort of cut away from that, to liberate all of that, to open up that free flow of communication, to give you that peek inside, or more of that direct access to the heart of them, to the precious parts of them that are not so readily or easily given away to others. So let's take a look and see what their next actions are towards you. Okay, so we have the Three of Swords, which is air energy or more air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra again. Two of Pentacles, earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Four of Cups, which is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Tree, grounded, fertility, lineage, health, vitality, roots, personal growth, past lives, evolving, connection to source. Marriage. And stalemate, standoff, no way out, non-committal, holdout, delay tactics, blocked, refusing to compromise, opponent, competition. So a couple things with this. If this was a circumstance where there was a third party situation involved, and it was kind of, this person was maybe juggling, this feels to be the energy of the next action is a choice is made to kind of end this energy of competition where they've kind of pitted you against another person, or maybe it was even sort of you were competing to, with this heartbreak that this person was holding, that they were harboring, maybe as a result of a divorce, a series of divorces, relationships that had gone kind of stale or sour in their lives, or they were just very hesitant to open up to love again, very resistant, to kind of give love a chance or give this connection a chance. There's an energy here of choosing to invest in this connection, choosing to sort of reach beyond that energy, or again, through a series of like conversations, provide you some perspective with kind of their conduct up to this point in time in this situation. It's like putting an end to the game playing, putting an end to the energy of not knowing, and a definite choice is made that, like you, this situation, they set you apart from all the rest. And interestingly, we have these two trees here on these cards here. So even with the marriage, it's the idea of like combining houses, combining forces, investing more deeply into this situation. Something that they want to really prove to you, or open these lines of discussion as far as, it may have been a rocky start between the two of you, especially if there was some kind of like a disagreement or like a holdout, or you were just not really sure where one another were standing about things. It's this energy of, I want to invest. I both want to give more to this connection, and I am now open to receive what you have to provide and what you have to offer. But with this energy of sort of openness and a choice to, either sort of cut off a third party situation, to invest more deeply in this circumstance, building this, to let go of some kind of heartbreak or a guardedness that they had that had made them sort of standoffish or kind of icy, not as warm. There is this energy of, we have this kind of higher potential with one another, and I'm letting you in to sort of indicate to you, what has kind of gone wrong in love and life before, sort of the motivations, the reasoning behind my conduct at this point or up to this point. But it's the idea here with these trees of kind of, seeds of potential that will need time to grow. So it's an energy of giving you a greater perspective of kind of how they value you, how they cherish you, the time you've spent together, how there's a desire to, build more precisely or more continuously towards some sort of a harmonious future, repairing the connection, repairing the past between the two of you, or investing in creating something long term with the both of you. But it also is something that requires patience. This is just kind of the action of opening the door to something with the understanding that it's just a start, and this is going to need time to grow and elevate. That it's not just going to be an overnight, here's this conversation about this aspect of me that I've been sort of holding to the side, but it involves almost something that shifts your perspective of them, that may cause you to yield more to the sense of, if you've been very impatient with the process or very uncertain with kind of where the situation's going, what's happening between the two of you, what the long-term potential is, whatever this is that they're providing to you, it gives you a deeper understanding of their motives, to where you're then able to kind of course correct or really evaluate within yourself and see how your pace has been in this situation up to this point in time. It's this, maybe even kind of this conversation that takes place, like, I see forever with you, you're my person, you're the one I choose, you're the one my heart belongs to, but it's going to take me time to still heal and repair and move beyond, any kind of lingering heartbreak, any residue within. If there was like a third party situation involved, then there's a need to kind of even cut that off, decompress, detox from that energy. Maybe even a process of like a back and forth legally speaking, or while assets are divided, something that may be not just an easy and seamless path toward the next stage of your progression with one another, but it's something that's going to take time to grow and blossom. But it's the idea of, I'm interested in sort of seeing this through to something more. Are you interested in seeing this through to something more? But it definitely comes with it also that there's sort of a limit on the totality of what can be provided. Like, there's context as far as these are the long-term goals that I want, this growth potential, sort of setting down roots, creating a family, creating something, in terms of longevity long-term. But there's also, all this debris that needs to be cleared out, that this is an important phase, whatever this connection is, or the conversation is that they intend to have about the connection that they bring forth. But it's almost just, they can only give a little bit. There's only so much that can be provided, or it's a start. Here, let's plant this seed of potential, but then we're going to need time to kind of water it and grow it. But it feels like whatever they provide, it's going to really help in terms of long-term energy if they're getting triggered again, or even a slow progression from this point. Like, this in and of itself is sort of a major step. It's a major leap of faith, or a major milestone here as far as, your progression with one another. It demonstrates a lot of trust, to let you into, even just something as on the surface as simple as kind of giving you the details, giving you backstory about the nature of some heartbreaks or their experiences in love in the past that have kind of caused their conduct up to this point in time with being a little resistant, or kind of holding back, or giving you sort of the vibration that there would be a need for concern, kind of a lack of warmth in the situation, that it's a big step for them to let you in, to almost let you see this kind of vulnerable or wounded side of them. It's a lot of trust that is given here, that you're not going to just play with their heart, that you're not going to take advantage of kind of this softer side of them, or this treasury that they hold within, all of this potential that they hold within, that they, have maybe given that to the wrong people in the past and have been taken for a ride, or it's ended up in a lot of disaster. And so it's almost kind of like this leap of faith that they're taking. For some of you, this may, even with kind of the energies of the three here in the marriage, may have been somebody who was married twice and kind of like third time's the charm. They may have been hesitant to kind of like enter back into a marriage, or they had, two long-term relationships, maybe back-to-back disappointments, and it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to give this another try. I'm going to put myself out there. Third time's the charm, and, let's see if this works this time. Let's see if this is a circumstance that is viable. But kind of with that is the action, is the conversation, is the understanding that, this is going to have to move at a measured pace. It can't just rush in, but sort of good things take time to grow, but it's definitely an interest in sort of tending and moving beyond just the restrictions in the past, in the interest of what can develop in the future between the two of you. So I'm going to get some messages from their higher self, and then I'll close out the reading with some initials. And they say, wild side, there's a side to you I haven't seen and I want to. I want to see you let loose and get wild. Let's have some fun. So this really ties into the idea of some aspect of them that they are about to bring out from hiding, something they are about to reveal or expose or express to you. This feels to be almost more of a rugged or a ragged side of themselves in terms of a lot of heartbreak. This may even be kind of an emotional conversation or a declaration that takes place. This person may break down and cry and just kind of show you a part of them that it's a lot of trust, which is given at this point in time, that you will see and receive kind of this wounded or tender part of them, and that you will treat this, kindly, that you'll kind of match them with sort of, they're depicting these kind of tender and vulnerable parts, and there's a hope that you will reciprocate as well, that it will cause some degree of comfort within you to where you're willing to let them in closer, and an energy of really here as well, that despite what they've been through, despite kind of their guardedness or whatever their reservations or hesitations have been, in general, or in this connection up to this point in time, there is an energy of just wanting to sort of throw caution to the wind, and kind of rewild, get back to basics in this situation, or to, not be so kind of measured or guarded, but to just move into more authenticity in this situation, to really see and explore one another and the potential here without all those boundaries in place, without all of those caveats, or kind of comparing what might develop in this situation in the future, how that may or may not unravel further down the road to experiences of disappointment and heartbreak in the past. So any kind of like, even with this energy of sort of like the stalemate and the game playing, something where they may have really been testing you, testing your loyalty, testing your devotion, sort of vetting you out, or feeling you out in a certain way before they were really going to be very honest with sort of who they are, what they have to bring to the table, maybe literally, in terms of assets, or something on an emotional level that they've just learned to really keep hidden within. They've had to sort of preserve it because it's almost, people have taken their kindness or their generosity of heart for weakness in the past, or that this has kind of been their undoing. But there's a sense of feeling ready to kind of unbridle, or unleash a part of them that has not shown up in this connection before, that they haven't allowed to sort of be known in this connection before. They also say you feel like home. Being with you reminds me of simpler times. You bring me so much happiness and peace. So there's definitely a sense here of you encourage this person to, again, let down those guards, let down those walls and barriers. And it may be something where they've almost been kind of leaning into the iciness, because it's a sense of, I have to remember how I've let my guard down in the past and woundedness has happened. You almost make them forget that there's ever been disasters as far as love is concerned. It feels even the patience that you've demonstrated with them and sort of your dealings with each other up to this point in time, it's built this sense of sanctuary between the two of you, and a sense of feeling that they can confide in this aspect, that they're ready to let you into more of that inner sanctum, more of who they are, to show you not just the best face that they put forward, or the strong or unbothered or unmoved and kind of stoic stance. They're wanting to sort of show you more of their darkness, more of their shadow aspect, not in terms of negativity, but just in terms of like sorrow and loss within, a vulnerability within that they don't often sort of project as part of what they're equating with strength. It's something that they hide within, but they feel very much safe in your presence to kind of let that guard down, let that wall down. And so it almost feels to be something that they may be on the brink of some sort of a declaration, even with the two pentacles. It may be something seemingly smaller, like a series of conversations and exchange back and forth, but it stretches this connection further than it has been up to this point in time. It demonstrates their trust and their desire to kind of build something more long term, that you've almost earned this place, or you've proven to this person that you are a safe space, you are a safe person for them to really be their most authentic self. And so with this, in addition to kind of some shadow or darkness within, there also feels to be something that it's an element of their light, with kind of this wealth, this treasure that's sort of under this bell jar here, where they've been hiding that aspect, this kind of generosity of heart within themselves, and they now feel safe enough to kind of let you into this space within themselves and within their life, in the trust that you'll be gentle with them. You'll be gentle with kind of the brokenness or the rough edges that they are demonstrating outwardly to you, or that when you are sort of allowed in and occupy the space within their heart and within their soul, there's a trust and kind of a faith here that maybe this time around in love, maybe that third time's the charm, that you're the individual that will see them for kind of all of their facets, and be mindful of that, be careful of that they are entrusting you almost with this gift of who they are on the inside. They also say missing you. I miss you. I wish things were different. So any kind of distance between the two of you, or a sense of, a guardedness that they've had up, walls that they've had up. This feels to be somebody who has wanted to let you in for quite some time. And it may be frustration with themselves for, taking a stance, a stubborn stance, or almost frustration with some sort of woundedness that has created guardedness and these walls around themselves. That when you are together with one another, when you're spending time with one another, they're filled with a sense of peace. And in the aftermath of all of that, when they're alone, or if there's been some kind of difficulty or distance which has been acquired or created between the two of you, it's really sort of sent the message home that you do represent a safe space. You do represent somebody who, is unlike others that they have dealt with in love and partnership. If they are involved in a third party situation, it's also the idea of when they are with that other person, they can't help but compare that situation to what they experience with you. It's kind of like a coldness in that aspect versus the warmth that they experience with you. That polarity is really causing them to sort of like choose this situation, choose to sort of move beyond the energy of stagnation or disappointment, or whatever just has kind of fed or accommodated even the woundedness within. There's a desire to move toward healing and repairing this situation with you, or to dive in closer, to let you in closer, so that you see more of a perspective of who they are and what they are working with, and therefore what the two of you are working with in terms of building a connection, so that you can bridge that gap between sort of where you are currently and whatever sort of keeps you at a distance, whether this is literal circumstances or something just emotionally within them that has prevented them from really letting you in up to this point. They also say nervous. You make me nervous. Even just thinking about you, I get nervous. I'm not sure what to say or how to act around you. So again, they really do set you apart from others that they have dealt with in love in the past. Anyone they're dealing with currently, you're a breath of fresh air in a lot of ways, and they feel very nervous as well to have some kind of a conversation where there's a truth telling that's being done here. Something about kind of a more vulnerable part of them, and really opening up about some things, or showing and displaying some emotion that has been uncharacteristic for them up to this point in time. Maybe even kind of a big conversation about, they see forever with you, but they don't know quite how to build to that point. They're scared to take that leap of faith, but it's a declaration of they want so much more with you. That in and of itself, it's heavy. It's a big energy here. This is big conversation. Back to that Ace of Swords and the Queen of Swords. It's they've been thinking about this for quite some time. They have these plans and these scenarios about how that dialogue is going to work, how that's going to turn out. And so it almost feels to be something where they're kind of working up that courage, working up that nerve, understanding that the situation as it exists right now is tumultuous. It's not in everybody's best interest. It's not in anybody's best interest. And so there's a desire to kind of clear the air, overcome that nervousness and obstacle, and just sort of let you in, put it all out there, and just see what comes from that point. So I'm going to get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got V, H, P, A, N, U, C, O, G, B, X, Y, T, L, V, U, I, R, R, G, Z, L, F, S, and S. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer them through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. And I've launched a second channel here on YouTube, which is called Lady of the Dawn Tarot. There's a link in the description box as well as in the channel section of my page for that. The format over there consists of readings related to topics other than love and romance. So if you're looking for something a little different from me, that is the place to find it. I thank you for your support there as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.